Good morning. My name is Carlos Jarquin. I'm the Senior Vice President for Investor and Community Relations for the San Antonio Economic Development Foundation. Welcome to San Antonio, or bienvenidos a San Antonio, as we like to say. We'll be talking today about exporting to the U.S. via San Antonio, Texas, a little bit about our organization, ways in which we can help you introduce your products to market within the Texas market, and the resources that we have that the city of San Antonio provides foreign investors that want to do business in Texas. We'll begin our presentation by a brief overview of our organization. We are a nonprofit organization, privately held, founded in 1975 for the whole reason of developing San Antonio's economy. We actively seek foreign investors. We actively seek domestic companies wanting to do business or relocate into the great state of Texas. Our mission is very, very simple. We like to be at the top list of each CEOs all over the world and all over the United States as a relocation site. We also like to produce jobs, high-wage jobs specifically, in our targeted industries. And our unique value proposition is that we, as an organization, as a nonprofit organization, we like to provide tools for companies that come to San Antonio. Just a brief numbers in terms of what we have and how the city of San Antonio compares to other cities in the United States. We are one of the fastest growing largest cities in the US. By 2030, we will become the 5th largest city in the United States in terms of population. We also do 8% GDP growth rate from 2016 to 2017. We have a 2% labor growth rate projection. 14 colleges and universities with 160,000 students, as well as our competitive costs for living here, the competitive land to do business in San Antonio, no state personal income tax, competitive cost of living for 12 percentage points below national average, median price of home in MSA of about $235,000, affordable land, energy, and water. Diversity, we have amongst Fortune 500 companies located in San Antonio, USAA, HEB, Valero, Frostbank, Acelity, Accenture, amongst others. And we have a 55% Latino population in San Antonio. Geographic advantages, as you can see, we're in the middle of the state of Texas. San Antonio has been known as NAFTA City because NAFTA was signed here. We have close proximity to Mexico and to Central America, as well as our interstate highways cross from north to south, east to west, cross through San Antonio. Interstate Highway 35 and Interstate Highway 10. We have access to very, very robust clients, companies around Mexico and around Canada, which we do cross-border trade every single day. We have a proximity to Dallas and Houston of about 2 to 3 hours driving, and Central Time zone allows cities, the Americas. We have a low incidence of disruptive weather or natural disasters, which is outstanding for a company to come to Texas. I mentioned briefly about our target industries at the beginning of the presentation. We have targeted industries as cybersecurity, technology, bioscience, and manufacturing. So what does that mean? That all of our efforts, all of our initiatives have to be in these silos, in these industries. We want to make sure that we attract these industries to San Antonio. But if you're not in these industries, we will also serve you as well. Our business plan focuses on companies in these sectors to attract them to the city of San Antonio. You'll see more in terms of the points, in terms of the qualities that we have for these specific industries. So now we're here about to talk to you in Vietnam about our foreign direct investment and our trade development efforts. First of all, we are very focused on foreign direct investment. We do help local companies export to other countries, and we also have soft landing tools, soft landing programs for foreign companies wanting to do business in the state of Texas. We have a specific program that we like to tailor when we're speaking to foreign investors. We like to call it the International Business Development Center, which is our IBDC program. It is our incubator program or accelerator program for companies wanting to do business in San Antonio. We call it a soft landing approach for your business to come and to test the waters, to test the market, to talk to distributors, to talk to buyers, and get some initial feedback for your products and see if there's a potential demand for customers to buy your products here in Texas. We have two sort of services. We provide office space for foreign companies, and we also provide virtual and physical office space for you. This program specifically is very, very important. We realize that foreign companies are not going to reestablish their whole operation into San Antonio without having some sort of knowledge of the market and some sort of business development that will justify an important investment. So we take this program and we put these companies in the program so they can actually go through the critical route as to establishing a U.S. subsidiary and establishing a U.S. entity. This is a very brief U.S. comprehensive strategy that we typically use with all of our investors. We start by market entry research. We develop a product overview. We like to see what the value proposition is that you provide that none other in San Antonio has or in Texas has. We like to look at the industry requirements. If you are in food and beverage or if you're in consumer goods, we like to know what the Food and Drug Administration is saying about your product, if there is any specific regulation that you have to consider, or if there's any specific certification that you need in order for you to export into Texas. We evaluate and assess the market potential. We look at certain distributors, we look at certain competition for you, and we like to establish a sense of a business model adapted to the US that makes sense for your project. We also do pricing analysis. We look at the competition. We like to look at everything that's happening in San Antonio, whether if it's a direct competitor or indirect competitor. And we specifically want to give you the strategy into penetrating the US market. We make sure that you understand all the risk that's associated with this US venture. So this is where we go into the competition analysis. The competition analysis is where we provide you what the competitors are currently doing, what their value added is, and who their supply chain is comprised of. Next, we like to emphasize on your target market. Your buyer and consumer profile is extremely important for you to adapt your product, your packaging, your pricing to this specific group. If it's a specific demographic or if it's a specific city that you like to reach out your products to, we help you identify that in our market research efforts. Next, we like to analyze and assess your distribution channels. What makes more sense for you, whether if it's to go directly to a distributor or direct to a wholesaler or direct to the actual retail operation. I understand that you are studying the market and ways to get into it, several distribution channels in the US. The city of San Antonio is very friendly in terms of accepting new foreign products, testing what we have, and how your product is comparable to that existing product. Next, we write your business plan as well. We help you with the financial projections, we help you with the sales forecast, and we specifically help you modify your value added to the Texas market. It is extremely important that it's not the same as doing business in Vietnam than doing business in the US. So it's very important for us to let you know what are the implications about this venture. As I mentioned, we do the financial planning along with you. We help you identify the costs, the hard costs, the fixed costs, the startup costs for you to consider what you need and for you to build a budget for your US venture. Next, we brainstorm the marketing and branding strategies. We want to make sure that you are considered a US company and your distribution channels consider you a US entity. We've seen along through the years that several different customers, clients adapt this strategy and build a US entity. They import their own products and they sell as a US entity. They invoice as a US entity and they have a financial backing from the US, from a US entity. This gives the buyer certainty that that there's a low sense of risk associated to buying your product. We look at importing requirements. Importing requirements are very, very important, especially if you are importing a trans-Pacific cargo. So we look at your Incoterms. We look at what makes more sense in terms of ex works, FOB, or directly to the customer. We work with you in terms of logistics operators. We work with you in terms of insurance providers to make sure that the product is actually imported and it's not damaged at any cost. We look at key success factors. This is the value proposition that the whole program provides you. It encompasses what I've been talking to you about, and it gives you that final report as to what are your key success factors. I spoke about logistics solutions. We work with a number of global distribution logistics companies. Once we have all these elements and all these points addressed, we actually take you to meet the buyer. This is the part of the program, the most important part of the program, where we have to make sure that all of these elements have been covered or checked, that we have gone through the whole program, the whole learning curve with you, and that you understand what's implied about selling to a US consumer. So then we put you in touch with sales and business meetings, and that's the most important part of the actual program. And finally, within those initial meetings, we connect you to a whole network of buyers. In San Antonio, we have a very, very important corporate citizen, which is H-E-B supermarkets, which I'm sure you know. They are located here in San Antonio. They actually buy a lot of product from foreigners. They import a lot. And this is one of our key partners in this whole strategy, US comprehensive strategy. Once you start selling to H-E-B, you can open the doors to many other distribution channels, whether if it's wholesale or whether if it's other companies around the United States. If you're thinking about e-commerce strategy, we also have opportunities in that sector. This is the buyer network slide connection in San Antonio. As you see, I just mentioned H-E-B, which is located downtown San Antonio. We have Acelity, which is a worldwide company. Valero, which is an oil and gas company based in San Antonio. New Star, which is a distribution of oil and gas based in San Antonio. Rackspace, it's an IT firm, hosting firm that's based in San Antonio. Whataburger is also a fast food restaurant chain. USAA, an insurance company. Toyota of Texas, which is based in the south side of San Antonio. And Bill Miller's Barbecue. So have you seen, and if you recognize these companies, the majority of these companies are in the food and beverage or consumer goods industry. So we'd like for you to get to know these companies, realize that there's a sense of demand for your products, and really emphasize in the city of San Antonio as your destination for foreign direct investment. This is why we have the program. This is where we have the Soft Landing Incubator Program. Since 1999, we've been doing this with over 300 foreign companies coming to San Antonio using this program and getting to know these companies. We want to make sure that your risk is minimized with our experience and our knowledge of the market, and you take this business model and you expand it throughout the US. Foreign investment in San Antonio. This is a very slide of a picture of the whole world, how we have a representation from Japan, from India, from South Korea, as well as England. We also have Czech Republic, Australia, Spain, as well as Canada and Mexico. We have these companies located in San Antonio that they've decided that their destination was San Antonio. This is just a reflection of how important our relationships are with these companies. In Japan, we have over 40 Japanese companies based in San Antonio. You've heard of me talk about Toyota, also Maruchan, Nisei Plastics, they're in here. And we'd love to get more companies from Vietnam. This is your city as well, and we'd love to host you when you come to San Antonio. We do have one representative office in Japan and 2 representative offices in Mexico. We realize that it is of utmost importance to have these relationships with foreign companies. We understand that international business, it's not the same as doing business in the US. So we like to give you these examples, and we like to give you these resources for you to be successful in the city in Texas. Next, one of our very, very large investment forums that we have is coming up in November 2019. This is a program that we started back in 2014, where we help foreign companies come to San Antonio. We help them establish a sort of relationship with companies locally, and we help them by providing them substance matter experts that present to companies that want to know more about how to grow in Texas, how to do business in Texas. And as you know, we bring everything from attorneys, accountants, logisticians. We also bring a network of buyers as well as from a B2B perspective. So be sure to be on the lookout for this event. We actually this year we're going to have it in November. We like to have the B2B session at the end so that you get to learn about the whole process that I spoke to you about, the whole critical route that I spoke to you about. And we like to emphasize that it is very, very important, again, as I mentioned previously, to have a US subsidiary in the country. This will help you facilitate the process. This will help you facilitate your conversations with your buyers or distributors, and it will help you advance your company's presence. We provide that service to you, and we provide the office space. As again, we provide the business consulting services. We want to make sure that you are taking advantage of legitimate resources, reputable resources, so that you are not, you don't go and you end up risking some of your investment. We understand that foreign direct investment develops the economy and develops San Antonio. So we provide this as an economic development tool. Next, I'd like to just emphasize that if you are interested in coming to San Antonio, I'll provide you with my details, my contact information as well, so that you can directly contact me. I'd like to thank everyone for being in this presentation. Welcome to San Antonio again. We look forward to seeing you here. And we're actually going to videotape some offices for you, the actual office space that we provide our clients. We have companies there from Canada, from Mexico, from Japan. We have companies from all over the world that are taking advantage of these programs. So again, I'd like to thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.